A very good day to all of you. It is indeed a good day to us here at the University of Botswana as we celebrate yet another milestone. Today marks the 38th graduation ceremony of the University of Botswana, the first ever virtual graduation as necessitated by the COVID-19 pandemic. Inasmuch as the pandemic has robbed us of the great moments of ululations, great dances and struts that we would otherwise be witnessing from our graduates, it should not, it must not, and it cannot and will not take away from us the great sense of achievement, especially for our graduates. Wherever you are this day, just give yourself a pat on the back, for indeed you've done a great job. As Ray Davids would say, a challenge only becomes an obstacle if you only bow to it. Today bears testimony that you have not bowed down to any challenge that was presented by the COVID-19 pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tepo Maswabi, and I'll be directing the proceedings of today's momentous occasion. I'm not alone this morning. I'm with two sign language interpreters who are our Bachelor of Special Education third-year students, and they are under the guidance of Dr. Kirileng Mpuang, and they are Luzibo Mpapo and Baitsi Sarai. To kickstart our activities this morning, we will start off with a flag parade, and the flag parade depicts the graduation class of 2020. As you would see from the different flags, this basically shows the countries from which our graduates are from. Surely this is a testimony that the university is becoming a center of academic excellence, not only nationally or regionally, but globally. Let us pray. Dear God, we are here in this beautiful day with celebratory hearts, in a celebratory mood to honor these unique people who just completed their studies, who are on transit to the next life journey. Oh Lord, hear our prayer. Lord, I pray for your electrifying presence during this rite of passage as they graduate. I pray, God, for your moving presence in their life.
Let your presence be felt now, O God. Let your presence be felt as they celebrate this important milestone. Let your presence be felt as they are rewarded for their hard work. Oh Lord, hear our prayer. Lord, help them to revisit and to be in contact with themselves, with their inner being. Oh Lord, help them to acknowledge their potentiality and appreciate the power vested in them. Lord, help them acknowledge the power of collaboration, the power of working together with other people, of course, from different disciplines, towards societal transformation and liberation. With you, God, on their side, they could conquer the world because you are the liberator, the transformer of the people. Hear us, God, in our prayer. Here are your children, oh God, bless them and help them to seek your will. Oh God, grant them courage to be strong during these difficult times. Help them to realize your transcendental love. Help them to realize your transcendental warmth and protection. Give them hope, wisdom, and faith that will not be shrinked by the challenges. God of mercy, God of love, hear our prayers. Amen.
Congratulations to the University of Botswana class of 2020 on your well-deserved academic success. Indeed, your hard work and commitment to your studies have paid off, and you have now joined the world of professionals in various fields. Your achievement will surely contribute to the implementation of our national transformation agenda as espoused in Vision 2036, as well as help chart our country's transition from a resource-based to a knowledge-based economy. As you enter a new phase of life, I want to remind you that our country is faced with a myriad of challenges, such as youth unemployment and HIV/AIDS. The advent of COVID-19 has further compounded our situation, as it has negatively affected the performance of our economy. However, as a resilient nation and with your newly acquired skills, I am confident that we will overcome these challenges and achieve our dreams and aspirations. I therefore wish to reiterate my government's commitment to create an enabling environment for the private sector to thrive and in the process create jobs, particularly for the youth. In conclusion, I once again congratulate you and your achievements and wish you every success in your future endeavors. Please continue adhering to the COVID-19 health protocols of social distancing, washing your hands with soap and sanitizing, as well as wearing your masks appropriately at all times in public. Abulaine.
This is to congratulate you most sincerely, the class of 2020, for having attained your educational credentials, which you've been pursuing for quite some time. You demonstrated resilience and maturity of character in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, and for that you deserve a pat on the back. The road you traversed could not have been easy. Be that as it may, you lived up to expectations and accomplished your objectives. Needless to say, today you are not only celebrating your well-deserved accomplishments, you are also beginning a new phase in your lives where you will invariably embark on a variety of careers. I trust that having been a part of the University of Botswana for respective periods will have instilled in you, among good attributes, maturity, resilience, humility, patience, and a sense of responsibility, which will help in dealing with the challenges that lie ahead. No doubt these good attributes will stand you in good stead as your lives evolve. The skills and knowledge imparted to you are expected to come in handy as the country embarks on advancing its people's new ways of doing business, using, among others, the tools of the digital economy. The country looks up to you and has trust in your ability to foster change. Therefore, go out there and make a difference and be the catalyst for positive change. Above all, be ambassadors for the University of Botswana by doing good at all times. Hearty congratulations once more.
Congratulations, class of 2020. You shall be immortalized for prevailing and graduating despite and amidst the storm and uncertainties of COVID-19 pandemic. That accomplishment is testimony to your discipline, resilience, determination, and commitment to fulfillment of your ambitions. No one deserves this better than yourselves. Graduation marks the first step of yet another phase in your life and the hope to triumph over new challenges as you strive to broaden your horizon beyond campus life. I trust that your stay at Madikolo was an enriching and inspiring experience that has equipped you with the tools, skills, and competencies to bridge you to new frontiers. I charge you to leverage every opportunity coming your way to inspire change for human good. The knowledge society beckons, and you should not and cannot be left behind. Scale the heights, walk tall as the University of Botswana's ambassadors. Your accomplishments fill me with joy and pride, especially so during this COVID-19 era. Congratulations once more and best wishes for the future.
Today is indeed a great day. Great for you as you graduate and great for the University of Botswana to have contributed to what you are today. Your success is our success. You are not alone in this journey. Your parents and relatives, friends and the university staff were no doubt some of the most valuable companions and resources that you always tapped on. Thank you for being part of the team. Your enthusiasm, determination and hunger for success delivered what we all look forward to, a well-rounded graduate. The world awaits you. Embrace the global citizen you have become, and above all, prove to the world that your choice of the University of Botswana was not a mistake. Make the most of the knowledge and skills you gathered and cherished at Madikolo to transform the lives of Botswana. I trust that the education you acquired and the experience from interacting with your lecturers and classmates have contributed to your intellectual, spiritual, and personal development. Thank you for making the University of Botswana a force to reckon with. Take your medical experience with you so that you remember your alma mater at all times. Congratulations to the class of 2020.
The Chancellor of the University of Botswana, I have the privilege to request you to declare this congregation constituted.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I declare this congregation duly constituted.
Your Excellency, the President, Dr. Mokgweetsi E.K. Masisi, and the First Lady, Neo Jane Masisi, Your Honor, the Vice President, Mr. Slamba Tsogwane, Your Lordship, the Chief Justice, Mr. Terence Ranwani, Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly, Mr. Pando Skelemani, Your Excellencies, former Presidents of the Republic of Botswana, Honorable Minister of Tertiary Education, Research, Science and Technology, Dr. Datlas Letsola Tebe, Honorable Cabinet Ministers, Chancellor of the University of Botswana, Mrs. Lena Kilebogile Mhotlo, Chairman of the University Council, Dr. Joseph Makema, and members of Council, former chairpersons of the University of Botswana Council, former vice chancellors of the University of Botswana, guest speaker, Ambassador Mr. David Newman, vice chancellors of other universities here in Botswana, honorable assistant ministers, honorable members of parliament, Kgosi Kgolo ya Batlokwa, and chairman of ntlo ya dikgosi, Kgosi Puso Gaborone le dikgosi tsotlhe, permanent secretary to the president, Mr. Elias Magosi, Attorney General, Mr. Abram Keetsabe, Your Excellencies, heads of diplomatic missions and international organizations, His Worship the Mayor of the City of Gaborone, Honorable Father Mapongo, all permanent secretaries and heads of other organizations, bishops that are here, University of Botswana community, parents, graduates, the media, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the University of Botswana inaugural virtual graduation ceremony. Today, for the first time in the history of the University of Botswana, the graduation ceremony is performed virtually. Staff and graduating students are in full support of the virtual mode and are wearing their gowns and hoods as the process of graduation virtually unfolds in their respective localities. It is a real new beginning of conducting business. Your Excellency, to celebrate the success of our students during this turbulent period is a major milestone in the life of the university. Our students applied themselves and worked hard to graduate this year. Despite the challenges that came with the national lockdown, the adoption of new teaching and learning platforms, and adapting to new ways of life, our students remain resilient, and we are very excited to be celebrating their success today. The university staff worked hard to make sure that the students get the support that they dearly needed. I'm proud of our students who ensured that the 4 to 5 years spent here did not go to waste. The graduating class of 2020 leaves the university with an inherent value of knowing what it means to prioritize things in life and, importantly, focusing on things that matter. I hope this is a lesson that the graduating class will take as a guiding principle in their future endeavors. The University of Botswana has a new strategy whose theme is creating a future for the knowledge generation. The strategy focuses on repositioning the university to be relevant and responsive to changes and challenges in its internal and external environments. We are advantaged by the rich history of the university, the excellent infrastructure, accessible campus location, peace and tranquility that the country enjoys, rich curricula from a comprehensive range of academic disciplines, and a diverse student community. These positives position the university competitively and comparatively in the educational landscape and lay a foundation with which the university is ready now more than ever to assert itself as a leader in higher education. The nation witnessed, Your Excellency, as the University of Botswana took leadership in the fight against COVID-19 through innovation research and psychosocial support to those in need of help. Researchers and students at the university worked around the clock to produce face shields, hand sanitizers, including bioanchor sanitizers, which is a breakthrough in the use of available natural resources. The bioanchor hand sanitizer contains byproducts of biodiesel from beef tallow or animal oil and indigenous oil plants. I am proud to inform you that the bioanchor hand sanitizer is Bob certified after meeting the Botswana Bureau of Standards requirements of BOS 844-2020. We have observed with interest the ventilator prototype that the university invented, which can be used to aid breathing in case of respiratory complications. For this and many other innovations at the university, the new strategy could not have come at a better time to assure the nation that it is creating a future for the knowledge generation to play a critical role in the national objective of sustainable social and economic development. Your Excellency, the University of Botswana fully supports your government's vision of transforming our nation into a knowledge society. Today, the University of Botswana is graduating about 2,500 students who are ready to join the labor market. They have acquired skills that will help them fly Botswana flag even higher. Government recognizes the plight of Botswana and particularly the youth, and has created schemes that seek to empower the youth. I implore you, graduates, to take advantage of these opportunities, for they were created for you. Use your skills to empower yourselves and others. Create employment. The world is open for you. Don't make the University of Botswana your past. But as you prosper, come back to be the best alumni you can be and support your alma mater. Graduating class of 2020, I urge you to be responsible citizens. Love your neighbors, community, your country, and make your university and the nation proud. We are currently experiencing a wave of social ills, amongst them gender-based violence, including femicide. All these are social ills that should not take root in our society. You are young and vibrant. Speak against these societal problems that have the propensity to take our society backwards. Your Excellency the President, Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi, Your Honor the Vice President, Mr. Slamba Tsogwane, Chancellor, Mrs. Lena Mohotlo, and the Chairman of Council, Dr. Joseph Makema, allow me at this stage to wholeheartedly welcome you and the rest of the nation to the University of Botswana first virtual graduation ceremony. We have enjoyed your support throughout the years. The university community is proud to be associated with you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, graduating class of 2020, welcome to the 38th graduation ceremony of the University of Botswana. May God bless you all. Pula.
I shall now call upon the valedictorian. The Chancellor, I have the privilege to present to you Ruth Alfred, who has been found worthy to receive the University of Botswana 2020 valedictorian honor. The honor is given to a student who has demonstrated an overall academic excellence and leadership qualities for the duration of her studies at the university. Ruth Alfred hails from Maung in the Ngamiland district. She is the last born child of Alfred Ibineng and Mrs. Haubonwi Ibineng. She grew up in a Christian home filled with love, guidance, and great discipline. Ruth started her basic education at Matola Primary School and later transferred to Leaputso Primary School. She proceeded to Tshwaragano CJSS and Maung Senior Secondary School for her junior and secondary education, respectively. Throughout her academic journey, Ruth proved to be a bright and disciplined student. Upon finishing her BGCSE, she enrolled into her program of choice, Bachelor of Finance, at the University of Botswana in August 2016, where she obtained a grade point average of 4.7 in the first semester of her studies and maintained it throughout. Today, she graduates with a cumulative GPA of 4.8. During her studies, she cared deeply for academic welfare of her colleagues, whom she had helped in spite of her own commitments. This is not surprising because changing or touching one's life makes her happy and content. To her, there is no point in having light and not letting it radiate to others. Besides her academic work, she was a member of the University of Botswana Finance Society, whose mandate is to impart financial literacy, not only to the UB community, but society in general through voluntary work. In 2018, Ruth took part in the supplementary examinations program where she tutored fellow students on some business finance modules, leading to a better result for that year. She also participated in the fundraising activities for Hamudubu Orphanage. Overall, she participated in most of the programs run by Career and Counseling Center and the Student Welfare Department since 2017 until she completed her studies in 2020.
The Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, Deputy Vice-Chancellor, professors, honored guests, staff, families, and fellow graduates, I greet you all. It is a great privilege to be standing here on this special day on behalf of the graduating class of 2020, aka Dialoganetsa COVID. Unlike previous groups who had the privilege of celebrating this day through a proper graduation ceremony, we are doing it virtually. Nonetheless, it remains a special day to all of us as we celebrate our success in the University of Botswana. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for celebrating this day with us. A few years back, we started our academic journey in this university. For most of us, if not all, it was an anxious moment, a mixture of excitement, fear, and uncertainty. But with time, the university shaped us into the achievers that we are today. We are now equipped with various skills, academic, technical, soft skills, as well as abundant knowledge and lifelong virtues that are essential for success, and that will be beneficial to us and the society in the long run. Today, as we cast our minds back to where it all began, all the sleepless nights, the endless hours spent doing assignments, the group works, the tests and exams, and even thoughts of giving up, we are proud and cheerful today, for we persevered all through the challenges that life threw at us. This year has been particularly challenging to all of us, for our studies and our lives were subjected to a lot of uncertainty that was brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic and its associated lockdowns. We had to use online learning, which was novel to us, had to use the little time that we had to push all the work, and including overworking ourselves even during weekends just to cover up for the lost time. And most of all, drained as we were, we had to remain resilient and gave our best until the end. And in spite of the late finishing and graduation, we are now enjoying our success today. As William Shakespeare once said, some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrusted upon them. I believe that we indeed have achieved greatness today through our hard work, resilience, and dedication amidst all the greatest challenges that were posed by Corona to us. But it does not end here. We must always remember that the opportunity to achieve greatness is within our grasp, and with so much potential instilled in us, we still have more to achieve. Now, with this said, it is imperative for us to impart all these skills, knowledge, and virtues to our fellow students and the society so as to bring about positive changes. Let our success today be an inspiration to all. We have a lot to be grateful for on this day. Above all, we thank and praise God, for we know that we would not be here if it were not for Him. Today is evidence that God does indeed do wonders in our lives. We must also express our deepest gratitude to our families and friends for their support and their belief in us. We also thank the university, our lecturers and support staff for their guidance and support. We truly are humbled. Now, to those of you who are still pursuing their studies in the university, do know that believing in God, working hard, being disciplined, persevering, and giving your studies your all will do you wonders. We encourage you to do so and remain confident in knowing that you can do anything, and I mean absolutely anything, if you set your mind to it and give it your best. And finally, to the graduating class of 2020, each failure, struggle, and sweat made us bulletproof. Remember that this is only the beginning though. Let us celebrate our accomplishments today and not forget to seize all opportunities that will arise in the future. We all are stars, and may we not let our shine be dimmed by anything. Congratulations to you, class of 2020. We will always be unique, for we graduated during a year that will never be forgotten by most. Wishing you all the best in your future endeavors. Dialoganetsa COVID. Thank you.
Dumelang Bagetsu. His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Botswana, Dr. Mokgweetsi Eric Masisi, and First Lady Neo Jane Masisi. His Honor the Vice President of Botswana, Mr. Slamba Sokhwani. His Lordship the Chief Justice, Mr. Terence Rananwani. Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly, Ra Pandu Skelamane. Honorable Minister of Tertiary Education, Research, Science and Technology, Dr. Lesola Tebe. Madam Chancellor, Dr. Mohotlo. The Vice Chancellor of University of Botswana, Professor David Norris. The University Council Chairman, Dr. Makema. Deputy Vice Chancellors, Deans, Directors, the community, the UB community, family, friends, and above all, graduates of 2020. All protocol observed. Allow me to begin by expressing my deepest sympathies for all those who've suffered loss or hardship from the effects of the coronavirus pandemic, including all graduates who are obliged to celebrate their incredible achievements in a most unusual, though albeit necessary, manner today. For me, being invited to deliver the guest speech at this 38th graduation ceremony of the university completes a significant circle in my life, and I couldn't be more proud. For the many of you who don't know me, have never seen me, or even heard of me, permit me to spend just a couple of minutes to introduce myself and to provide some context. My name is David Newman, and until June of this year, I served for 5 years at the pleasure of 2 presidents of Botswana in North America, as either Botswana's ambassador or high commissioner, depending on the particular jurisdiction, be it the USA, Canada, Mexico, or one of a number of Caribbean countries. Previously, I'd served for 10 years as a High Court judge, and before that, I worked as managing partner at the law firm of Collins & Newman. But before I was involved in any of these activities, my story contextually is perhaps of greater significance. You see, I was here at the beginning, at the first graduation ceremony. I'd arrived from England in Botswana a year earlier in 1982 to take up an appointment as senior lecturer in the Department of Law. In that department, at that time, we were a modest number, I think about 6 in all. And that included 2 young, very young then, staff associates who would later be known to you as Professor Bojozi Otlahile, who was Vice Chancellor at UB from 2003 to 2011, and another friend, Dr. Atalia Molokome, our Attorney General from 2005 until becoming our ambassador, where she currently is in Geneva. We were then led by a law professor on secondment from Edinburgh University, who subsequently became globally famous as the author of the #1 Ladies Detective Agency series, Professor Alexander McCall-Smith. I can still recall taking part in that first graduation procession in 1983. The venue was a grass quadrangle adjacent to the law department, and the ceremony didn't take that long given the relatively small number of graduating students then. I notice actually it's no longer a grass quadrangle, it's been paved over. I noticed that today. That said, Botswana had already come a long way from independence when, as I understand it, there were no more than 40 university graduates and 100 secondary school graduates in country. And as I believe also, 1 qualified doctor for every 47,000 people. How times have changed, and graduating medics particularly will no doubt be grateful for that. The theme of this year's graduation ceremony is creating a future for the knowledge generation, and that theme is drawn from the newly launched UB strategy, Creating a Future for the Knowledge Generation 2020 to 2029. Much has been said and written about our government's agenda to transition Botswana from a resource-based to a knowledge-based economy. In his inauguration address this time last year, His Excellency President Masisi called upon us to, quote, hold firmly to our resolve to transform our economy from over-reliance on our natural resource wealth to increasingly rely mainly on knowledge capital and thus yielding a knowledge-based economy, unquote. Now that's not to say that our resource-based economy has failed us. On the contrary, it was instrumental in elevating our country from a low-income to an upper-middle-income economy in less than 40 years. And diamonds for us haven't been a resource curse, but rather a blessing. And that's been primarily due to a combination of factors, particularly good governance, leadership, partnership, and also, obviously, good luck. Sadly, our natural diamond resources are finite and they're not forever. In fact, they could be depleted within the next 30 years. But that's not to say that we cannot forever be a diamond nation. I mean, after all, India currently has over 1 million people working in the diamond industry, yet has not been a major diamond producing country for hundreds of years, I think since the 18th century. Although the term knowledge economy first appeared in the late 1960s, its implications are only now being understood 50 years later. I dare say that Peter Drucker, the American management consultant who is given credit for coining the term, had little idea then of what lay ahead. Personal computers had not yet been invented for common use. We had calculators and typewriters, and we received our information mainly from newspapers and the print set of the Encyclopedia Britannica. Now, it's no coincidence that the term has developed at the same time as the internet over the last 25 years. Information is knowledge, provided that we are disciplined enough in mind to discern fact from fiction and use it to benefit our lives and societies. We now become instant friends with one another by just sending an upturned icon of a thumb to people we've never met, and our norms and values are challenged in new ways never before seen on such a scale. False news, fake news, conspiracy theories, hate more openly expressed, and so forth. Change is moving at the speed of light, literally at times, and its effect on society is enormous. Now, it's up to us how effectively we channel that change. It's generally considered that successful knowledge-based economies are built on the following 4 pillars. Firstly, a strong institutional framework. Knowledge-based economies thrive where good governance practices are in place. So we're fortunate to have that already. Secondly, good physical and telecommunication infrastructure increases productivity and attracts business activity by reducing transport and production costs, and also facilitating market access. Classic example, I would think I could see the impact of the impending opening of the Kazangula Bridge being transformational in this respect. For present purposes, the 3rd and 4th pillars are where you assume, I suggest, a greater relevance. A knowledge-based economy requires educated and skilled population to create knowledge and use it, and to develop innovative systems that can tap into the ever-increasing supply of global knowledge and adapt them into products that meet local needs. During my stay in the US, I had the opportunity to visit numerous academic institutions with the objective of developing sustainable collaborative partnerships with counterparts here in Botswana. Without exception, every one of those institutions expressed a keen desire to do so, and indeed, many have now done so. One field in which the US research universities have had particular success, and for which we can surely benefit, is in patenting, often being linked to R&D in biomedical and information technologies. By way of example, the University of Wisconsin Alumni Research Foundation, acronym WARF, assists faculty and staff in the patenting and protection of its intellectual property. WARF patents range from the supplementation of vitamin D in milk, to pharmaceutical development, to stem cell harvesting, to silicon technology, and smartphones and video systems. Revenue from these patents, to the tunes of tens of millions of dollars per annum, funds further research at that university. And the same is true in many others that have been experienced by our Chancellor and indeed our Vice Chancellor when we've travelled to these locations. In conclusion, I believe that it is fair to say that my generation has left your generation with many challenges to overcome. Resources are being depleted, climate change is real, and must be reversed or at least brought to stasis. And we need to find ways to communicate with one another more effectively. Your generation has been tasked with perhaps the most important challenges humanity has ever faced. Your problem-solving skills are essential. Future economic development will not be dominated by manufacturing, but by knowledge-based social entrepreneurship. Networks will expand and be incorporated in and among one another. Whether those networks benefit one another or tear us apart is down to you. No pressure. Remember, your education does not cease today, nor indeed does it cease for me at my ripe old age. Like many others who've come from humble origins, I strongly identify with Nelson Mandela's depiction of education as, quotes, the great engine of personal development. It's through education that the daughter of a peasant can become a doctor, that the son of a mine worker can become the head of the mine, that a child of farm workers can become the president of a great nation. It's what we make out of what we have, not what we are given, that separates one person from another, unquote. So, to each of this year's class of 2020, I say, Dedicate yourselves to the pursuit of excellence and to being the best that you can possibly be, not just for your own sake, but for all those within your sphere of influence. Your positive thoughts and actions will be a magnet for positive energy from others. Be committed, be passionate, and always be true to your principles and personal value system. One of the best recipes for a good night's sleep and a life well lived is having a clear conscience. Now, if you haven't already done so, you may consider creating a personal mantra to motivate and inspire you, and perhaps others, if you wish to share it. One of my own favorites, which I'm happy to share, is self-fulfillment is not having the best of everything, it's making the best of everything. And in my interactions with others, the acronym I apply and look for in response from others is simply HIT, HIT. Honesty, integrity, transparency. Congratulations to all graduates on your superb achievements, and to all those who have worked tirelessly and in challenging circumstances to procure those achievements and the success of today's ceremony. Rea la boca. Pula.
The Chancellor of the University of Botswana, I have the privilege to present to you candidates whom Senate has found worthy of prizes. The prizes are given to candidates who have demonstrated academic excellence in specific subjects, or in addition have participated commendably in the non-academic affairs of the University of Botswana. The Chancellor of the University of Botswana, I have the privilege to present to you the following candidates whom Senate has found worthy of admission to the following: Doctor of Philosophy degrees, Master's degrees, postgraduate diplomas, bachelor's degrees, diplomas, and certificates.
I shall confer the candidates present and absent whose names appear on the program. Doctor of Philosophy degrees, Master's degrees, postgraduate diplomas, bachelor's degrees, diplomas, certificates.
The Chancellor, I have the privilege to present to you the following candidates whom Senate has found worthy of admission to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy and Master's degrees of the University of Botswana.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I admit the candidates to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy and Master's degrees of the University of Botswana.
Faculty of Business. Faculty of Education. the Bachelor of Architecture, Bachelor of Design, Bachelor of Engineering, Bachelor of Geomatics, Bachelor of Land Management, Bachelor of Science. Faculty of Health Sciences.
Faculty of Humanities.
Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Surgery.
Faculty of Science.
Faculty of Social Sciences. Chancellor of the University of Botswana, I have the privilege to request you to declare this congregation duly dissolved.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I declare this congregation duly dissolved.
Dilo